It is within the powers and the prerogatives of the chair to call meetings, Mr. Kuzmierczuk. Our clerk is looking at the exact quote ruling if you wish, but it is fully within the powers of the chair. For example, the Liberal chair of Natural Resources called a meeting without anyone's knowledge in order to ram through the anti-Alberta, anti-energy industry
Point of order.
C-250. So it has been done in the past. And yeah, please let me finish, Ms. Outland. It is fully within the powers of the chair to call such meetings, and I have. Go ahead, Ms. Outland.
Mr. Chair, I think you're taking a little bit of liberty there, insinuating that there's some sort of Liberal government was pushing our Liberal chair in another committee not to have these meetings. I'm certainly they're respecting the time and commitments of their committee members.
That's not a point of order, Ms. Outland.
I'm getting there, actually, Mr. Chair. I would actually like to highlight your own bias in making this decision. I'm noticing the stickers that have always been present as props in this committee. You love pipelines and oil and gas, and it's very clear. And so perhaps that had a stake in this decision that you've made today.
Mr. Chair, that's not a valid point of order.
It's not a valid point of order. I do. So let me finish. Yeah. I do love oil and gas. If it bothers you, I will close my laptop. Mr. Drouin and Mr. Lawrence, and then we're going to start the meeting.
So I'm not a regular member of this committee, but I've been a member of this committee for 6 years. Never would Tom Lukiski, a good Saskatchewan MP, have done this. Never in his lifetime would he have done this.
That's not a point of order.
And the precedent that you are setting, Mr. Chair, is that I can tell you your side will be pissed off with us because we'll call meetings at our disposal and your side will not be happy with us.
That is the chair's
If that's the way you want to set the precedence of this committee, I'm telling you, we're going to challenge you.
Okay. That is the chair's prerogative to call a meeting if he wishes. If another committee wishes to do so.
Mr. Chair, if you're saying that no motions and no instructions from the chair must be undertaken from now on, that is false. That is simply false.
I'm going to read to you, and for Mr. Kuzmierczuk as well. Committee chairs have considerable administrative responsibilities, starting with those involving the committee's program of activities and compliance. With instructions from the committee or an order from the House, the chair calls committee meetings. So.
Well, Mr. Chair, point of order, and I believe exactly. I think you said it right there, and it bears repeating. It bears repeating. In compliance with instructions from the committee. In compliance with instructions from the committee. In compliance with instructions from the committee.
Yeah, let me
Mr. Chair, you have neither sought.
Let me interrupt you on that, Mr.
Nor consultation from this committee.
Mr. Kuzmierczuk, let me address that.
You have acted unilaterally outside the will of this committee. That is the issue that I have with you, sir. If you want to schedule meetings with witnesses, work with committee members. That's the way we've always done it. Past chairs have always respected that principle.
Please let me address your point of order.
Today. That is the issue that I have with you today.
If I could respond, I will address that. We are meeting on the estimates, the 2024-25 estimates, which the committee has agreed to. That is what our meeting is on today, and that is what I noted when I did my opening statement. Under Standing Order 81 for the committee's meeting to commence the consideration of the main estimates 2025.
And why did you schedule this meeting today on a constituency week? May I ask, Mr. Chair, so that folks watching can know this?
This is going to be the
study on the main estimates. When is it due, Mr. Chair? When is the study, the committee study on the estimates due?
We are meeting on the estimates. I have the prerogative to call a meeting on the estimates that the committee agreed to. We are now going to turn.
When is it due, sir?
That is beside the point, Mr. Kuzmierczuk.
May 31st.
That's nice.
May 31st.
That's fine.
May
We're now going to turn things over to
Mr. Chair, point of order. I just want to clarify to this committee, you've mentioned main estimates, and I'll remind that this committee is responsible for Vote 1 under Canada Post Corporation, Vote 1 under Canada School of Public Service, Vote 1 under Canadian Intergovernmental Conference Secretary. So I'm hoping that Premier Moe will be able to answer questions about Canada Post Corporations. Okay. I'm not sure he will be because that's not his responsibility. So again, we're asking for.
I will quote once, and then we're going to get to.
With the consent of committee. You did not get the consent of committee.
Mr. Moe in the main estimates, CRA, distribution of fuel charges.
This committee is not responsible for
Noting that
CRA.
$6.8 billion going to 9.5, but it's the part of the main estimates, and we are studying the main estimates.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Duran,
Mr.
we
Chair,
should
I've been a long-time member of this committee before my appearance here. I understand what this committee is responsible, and you're misleading committee.
Point of order, Mr.
CRA
Chair.
goes to
You've been very
finance, and you know
patient.
damn well that's where it goes.
Okay.
You've been very.
First of all, refrain from the language, Mr. Druin.
Pardon my French.
Okay, you're
Mr.
not
Chair,
gonna-
you've been
you're not
very
gonna make
patient,
friends with that one.
and I could recite numerous times that Peter Fonseca, Chair of the Finance, has adjourned and called without instructions. I could rattle them off, Francis. So this is ridiculous. Let's move on. We've got the Premier Mo. I know that you guys don't want to talk about the carbon tax and you don't want to hear from the people of Saskatchewan, but Canadians do.
Thanks, Mr. Mo, our Premier Mo. We're going to turn things.
Mr. Chair, I have a point of order, and this is going to be my last point of order, but it needs to be made.
Please get to it.
You called a meeting unilaterally without instruction or consultation with the members of this committee. That is a fundamental bedrock principle. And furthermore, you called this meeting on the mains. The deadline to study this is May 31st. There is no reason to call this meeting during a constituency week when we literally have 2.5 months to study the mains. This is a political stunt and theater, which is part and parcel of what of where our conservative colleagues are taking this to get clips.
Can you get to your point of order, please? Speaking of
That
getting
is my
clips.
point. That is
Okay,
my point,
it's
sir.
not a-
You unilaterally called a meeting that was not necessary this week because your team is after clips.
Okay,
And
thanks.
and again, I take issue and umbrage with that.
Yeah,
This is about, Mr. Chair, this is about Standing Order 108, which you have not addressed here, that states, and again, I want you to address it to this committee, that states, in compliance with instructions from the committee or an order from the House, the
Mr.
chair
Kazmir-
calls
Mr.
committee
Kazmir,
meetings,
Chuck, can I
decides
interrupt
on
you?
the
I
agenda.
have. Mr.
You
Kazmir,
have
Chuck,
done
I
none
have.
of those things. You
I
have
will.
done none of those things.
Let me-
And it is a shame and a farce, as Madame
Get
Vignal has
your
stated.
clip in, Mr.
that we
Kazmir,
have
Chuck, and
learned-
then I will
that we
address
have
this.
That we have learned about tomorrow's meeting from global news as opposed from our chair. That is a farce. That is a farce. And it's a violation of the bedrock principles of the way that this committee has conducted its work over the last 5 years. That is shameful. It is shameful and disrespectful to the work of this committee. And as Madame Vignal has stated, we want to be able to prepare for our witnesses. We want to be able to have due preparation so that we can do the work that Canadians expect us to do. We have neither been provided any opportunity to consult. We've been provided no opportunity to provide instruction, and we have not been provided opportunity to prepare for this day. And that is on the chair. And you have not responded to Standing Order 108.
I have responded to that, Mr. Kuzmierczak. It is, the committee has instructed me to hold meetings on the estimates, and that's what this meeting is on the main estimates.